Yo, what's happening? What's happening? What's happening? Man, I'm by myself today. Y'all see this? I'm by myself today. Wife was supposed to be here, but we got other plans that had to fall through for the babies. So babies come first. So man, it's gonna be kind of different. I had my thing in mind of what we was gonna do, and so y'all know we've been working on the engagement section where we've been talking about life uh after the divorce or life after death, and pretty much trying to live on. And the interesting part about that, man, you got to think about, we just come up out of the holidays, and I know that triggers a lot of memories with people, whether it's a divorce, whether it's death. And it's just one of those things that's really, really, really unfortunate, but in reality, it's a part of our lives, trying to piece that together, and it goes even further when, those that have lost their mothers, their fathers, their grandparents. So when we talk about life after death, and again, this is not meant to be a continuation of it for today because I don't have my better half here with me, but it still deserves some portion of the conversation because that is such a major thing, and I wonder, how did you guys, how did you cope with it? And I would love to hear from you guys in the comments, as far as how did y'all cope with it? How did you cope with the holidays? And it can be a lonely time, and I know that it can be mentally debilitating because even though I have my family, I have my kids, I have my wife, there are moments that I think about, like, man, what if I did not have that? And I know at some point things are going to change them where I won't have my family like that, because at some point in life it starts to break down. And it can be very disheartening, man. It can be very scary. How did y'all deal with that during the holidays? How did you deal with the first year after mom? Oh man, how did you deal with the first year without your mother? That's the whammy. Knowing how mama or how grandmama made that certain macaroni and cheese, and how they helped you out with certain meals, and how you would call them. God, man, it almost made me tear up just thinking about it. My mom still is here. But how did y'all cope with that, man? How did y'all really rebound, from that? Some of y'all like to deflect and y'all say, well, I want to be myself. I want to be left alone. That's not wise. And please don't shut the people out that's there trying to help you cope through that, because there's a lot of people that think about you that you may not be aware of, and you think that you're alone, and you're not alone. You must be reminded of that you're not alone, and you have a family. Sometimes we have family that we don't even realize that is family. That they're family, not even blood. And these are the people that's gonna constantly be with you and be by your side to support you, but don't push them away. I know, I can only imagine how hard it could be without me saying I know how it feels. Because in order for me to really show empathy, I have to have actually traveled through that. I have to really have understood that. And again, I have to keep with my wife because I know that she takes these things here for granted, as I do certain things. But we're so blessed. God, we're so blessed, man. Like, we're so freaking blessed. I find myself a lot of times dismissing any complaints that I really could have, as much as I would like for other things to be a certain way perfect. There's no such thing as being perfect. And thank you, my better half is chiming again. She said the first year without Nanny was heartbreaking, and she said it's still hard, but blessed to have beautiful memories. Yeah. If anybody knew my wife's grandmother, Nanny, Mattabelle Winston, man, we all had the Medias in our family. Y'all know y'all got the Medea. Man, Nanny was the Medea. You hear me? Smoking, I don't think I didn't see my nanny packing a pistol. But boy, she'll be smoking and she will cuss you out in the same breath to tell you that she love you. She called my wife a hoe. She called Krista a hoe. My wife is a lot of things, and a hoe just never been one of them. But she'll say, "Sit down, you little hoe." And I would look at my father-in-law, and I was like, and he's saying that it's like he even knew the terms that we use for terms of endearment is so crazy. But the thing about it, just between her calling my wife a hoe and the names, but she would tell me, she said, KD, she said, I love you. And this was like before me and my wife really got married. She made it known. She said, I love you. And I felt it. And man, and the first year without Nan, I know it hurt my wife more than it hurt me. It hurt me, but I know it really took effect on her because with my wife, Nanny called her every day. How many of y'all grandmamas call y'all every day? How many of y'all had a relationship with your grandparents that was better than a relationship than your parents? It's just real talk. Because a lot of y'all grandparents actually raised y'all. I didn't experience that, but my wife really experienced that. My wife spent a lot of time with her grandparents. When me and my wife first got married, like right in this transitional phase, when we were engaged to be married, like within a few months. My wife had this thing. She was like, well, we're gonna be up under the same roof, because it's not like you're gonna go here and I'm gonna be there. And so she pretty much stayed with me like the first, I would say like 60 days before marriage, 60 to 90 days before marriage, and we were working on getting a house. We got married like that December, which we just celebrated our 18th wedding anniversary too. So shouts out to the wifey for that, for putting up with me 18 years. Actually putting up with me for 23 years. Anyway, her grandmother would call her every day. And this when I was staying with my mom and my dad because I was saving up the money to get my house. That's a whole nother conversation about, make sure your kids save their money accordingly. Nanny called every day. My dad was like, does she call every day? I was like, Dad, yeah, she called every day to talk to my wife, to talk to Crystal. Nanny could be calling about absolutely nothing. Nanny would call every day. And I'm going to tell you a crazy part about even that, like every day. I've talked to my wife every day since we've been together. For the past 23 years, I've talked to her every day on the phone. Every day on the phone. Every day on the phone. Now, to some of y'all may be like, oh my God, that's just too much. See, this goes back into the marriage series, which when my wife comes back with me next week, we're going to talk about that. Some of y'all say, oh, that's too much. I mean, I don't want to talk to you that much. You just call, you just talk to me. Then guess what? You're not married to your best friend. I married my best friend. And yes, we talk all of the time. To the outside person that may be like, oh, that's annoying, that's controlling. We both do it. I do a little bit more than her, but she's my best friend. And I'm going to create a segue for that in just a moment. Because I made a real kind of talking about somewhat portions of that, but she's my best friend. If you don't yearn is the correct word for wanting to talk to your significant other, your better half, like every day. Like if I can feel these words, but I can't even express them. If you don't have that feeling inside of like, I can't wait to hear their voice, I want to talk to them, just even if it's just nothing, even if y'all just breathing on the phone, then that's not your better half. Everybody has a certain way of dealing with these relationships, and they have ways of coping. Some of y'all like to cuddle, some of y'all don't like to cuddle, some of y'all like to show affection, some of y'all don't like to show affection. The list kind of goes on. And going back into that marriage series, that's another one of those kickers where you're trying to find somebody that you're equally yoked with again. I'm a firm believer that being in love with a person, truly in love with a person only come around once. I'm sorry if somebody wants to debunk that. I welcome you in the comments. Debunk it. Let me know. Now, I'm not saying that it's not possible. Not saying that. But, however, the challenge is very real for you to find that. For you to find somebody that actually matches your drive, somebody that actually matches your skill set, it is a challenge. So, and another thing to complement that, don't grade your relationship based upon somebody else's relationship, their standards. Everybody has different standards. If what I said, how my wife and I, how we express love and how we communicate with one another does not suit you, then guess what? You and your person has some other way of communicating. And that's great. As long as it works best for you guys, to where you guys actually truly love each other instead of dealing with one another. See, I don't want somebody that's just going to deal with me. No, don't deal with me. I need you to love me. I need you to really put up with me. You know, don't just deal with me. I don't want to just be like, oh yeah, that's him. No. If you got a person that just literally just deals with you, then they're not here for you. They're not your ride or die. And they're not going to be here throughout the long haul. They're going to throw you under the bus every chance that they get. Because you're not their everything. It's a big difference. Some of y'all did marriage based upon settlements. Like it was a check that's supposed to be written out. And you were supposed to get more and you didn't get more. And you're like, all right, well, I'm just going to settle. What's that check going to be for? Some of y'all took check settlements in relationships. Don't settle. Be with who you think that you're destined to be. Now, with that being said, make sure that you give as much as you're wanting to actually receive. It's a lot of imbalance that we see in relationships to where people want more than they're willing to give. They actually want to, you're praying for this savior. And a lot of y'all got him right there laying right next to you. And you don't even realize it because you're so unappreciative. You're so unappreciative of what that man or that woman actually does for you. You're unappreciative. And for some reason, you think you're going to be able to go back out there into society and find it. And then you're going to be slapped across the face with a big old stick of reality. It's challenging out here now. Very challenging. To find true love, to find true destiny. And with that being said, don't allow outside entities, don't let your job, don't let your career, don't let your friends meddle into your marriage, meddle into your family affairs. Woo! Segue! I have a segue. Romeo Miller, MP, Master P. I have a great segue for that when we talk about family affairs. Based on what I'm seeing, no matter what your dad, mom, your parent does, you should never put them on blast publicly. I believe that your life will forever be damned and cursed if you decide that you will publicly rebel against your parents. You will publicly destroy your parents. We all have issues. Every single one of us have issues. The audacity to think that it's wise to put your family business on Front Street, the negative, that is. Share all the positive. Lord knows. Share every ounce of positive. There's enough negative to go around. For some reason, negativity sells. But under no circumstances should you seek to destroy your own family, i.e. your parents. If your parents have wronged you and they've done something wrong, then it would handle itself. There's no need for you to go out of your way to do something extraordinary. Extra and ordinary is extraordinary. To destroy them. There's no need to. There's no purpose. None. It's going to come back around you. So if you ask my opinion, Romeo Miller, you sound like a spoiled brat. You sound like a spoiled brat. So really, you would not be who you are and what you are. Nobody would even know the name Romeo if it wasn't for P. If it wasn't for Master P. No one even know who you are, dude. Let's just be real. No one. Or the climb to the mountaintop would have been much more severe, much more challenging. Dude, you done had a music career. You still actually have a legitimate name. Not only that, you're a handsome little dude, bruh. You actually can still go out there and get it. I saw a little holiday movie with Romeo Miller on it. Shouts out to you. Build your own thing. If you feel like your pops took money from you because he had to pay off taxes or whatever debt, then guess what? It is what it is. You his son. He still took care of you, right? He still had make sure you had clothes. Make sure you still have food. Make sure you still have shelter. So he may have mismanaged some funds along the way. But that is not for you to put out there publicly. What would you have done if you had all these millions of dollars and you were in charge of all this? It wasn't like Master P was educated on how to run a business. He learned on the job. He literally on the job training is what he did. And he was able to make a significant amount of money, millions of dollars. As far as owning his own, owning the actual music, he's the one that actually schooled these young guys about the music industry before there was streaming. When he was selling tapes out the trunk of the car. So true hustling. So the audacity for you to go against your parents should never happen. Period. Anybody got anything to say about Romeo Miller? Let me know. Because I'd be damned if anything that I raise go against me in that fashion publicly. I've made too many sacrifices with my own children. Long nights, restless days, just going out here and just getting it, being delirious from getting it. All to make sure that what's in my household is taken care of. And I go and get it wholeheartedly. It's not like I feel like, oh my God, it's so. It does suck at times. But that's a part of being a man. That's a part of being a husband. That's a part of being a father. All of these things is what it takes. A lot of y'all don't even know how to even be men because y'all weren't raised by men. Y'all were raised by women. Y'all were raised by women in a household that told you that you were the man. No, you were the boy of the house. I hate when women tell little boys you're the man in the house. He's a boy. Allow him to be a boy. You want to throw him to the man thing. He's not your husband. He's your son. So why would you throw him into being the man where he hadn't even conquered being a boy? And that's why you have this current generation of males that categorize themselves as men. You're not a man. You're not a man. You're a male. That's what you are. You're a male. Biologically, you're a male. So that's why I hate it that our women have these boys to men. You have these boys that think they're men, that think they're going to run your house. He's coming and living in your house, sweetie. He driving your car. You picking him up. He picking you up. Using your car. You gain an additional child. And I hate it for you ladies having to deal with that. I'm sorry. My apologies. I apologize to all women on behalf of the men. I'm sorry. I'm trying to do my best to make sure that my offspring can counter that. Make sure that my offspring or my boys can counter that so you will have something to latch on to that's worth grabbing, something worth latching onto that's worth you adopting their last name. That's what I want you to be able to have. That's why I do the mentoring program when I'm out there with Ties to Success, trying to create these boys to be men so we can really redraw the lines of what it is to be a man. So bear with us. But there's a lot of things that have contributed to what we're seeing. So, whew, that took a lot out of me right there. So, next up, politics and bull. Politics and bull. Top politics and bull. 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 Politics. Politics and bull. Anybody see the Fox 6 special on the Birmingham? Where, you know what? I can't go into the freestyle that I want to say. But if anybody's seen the special with Fox 6 covering the city of Birmingham, I have one thing I would like to say about that. The thing that I would like to say about that is this, and I guess I'm gonna wait till all my systems and stuff stop freezing up because we had a little freeze going on. Maybe I was about to shut the mic down. So that was a special that went out, and let me say this. Let me say this for all the viewers that's going to be tuning in, and it's going to be going to the mayor's office and going to the powers that be and say, "Did you hear what Dunn said?" Please listen to this preliminary conversation. I have a lot of respect for Mayor Randall Wolfen. He, when running in 18 and then the second term, he was definitely the best candidate, hands down. There's really nobody that really of significance that could run against Mayor Randall Wolfen. Period. Fox 6 did a special investigative coverage in which they were discussing the amount of money that was allocated for his top appointed staff to the tune of $9 million in 18 when he first in his first term, and I think at that time it was like 61 or 50ish. I don't have the numbers in front of me. Administrative assistants, and the numbers just kind of go on and on and on and on and on. Then it went on to report that it was like $10 million now for the mayor's office for all of his appointed staff. It's a lot of money. A lot of money. He did not make a statement, not via video or for the investigative reporters. He only gave a statement out stating that he wanted to make sure that the salaries were equitable with surrounding cities and competitive. I understand that portion about making sure they're equitable and competitive with surrounding municipalities and cities. Totally understand. That is necessary, especially you want to make sure the mayor's office and make sure that those people that you can retain those people. Not only that, you can recruit those people in because they know that you're going to pay them well. This is my thing. Mayor, if you're listening, I love you. But can we spread that to the employees? Can we make sure that salaries are competitive and equitable to the employees that are not appointed? Can we? We have a beautiful city. I think that the city of Birmingham has moved in a direction that it's never been going in decades, as far as the growth, the stadium and the additional growth that's going to occur there at Caraway. It's a lot of things that's happening, and that is great. But I have a few things regarding that. One, we have to make sure that we protect our investments that we're building across the city, and that's going to come with making sure that we have the proper employees that are, whether they're public works, whether they're fire department, whether they're police department, to make sure that they take care of what we're creating. I think more attention needs to be given to those different employees throughout the city, so we can make sure not only that the mayor's office salaries are not the only ones that are equitable and competitive. We're the least bit competitive right now as it relates to other municipalities, even though we're still the largest city in Jefferson County. And for us not to represent such is, in my opinion, negligent. It's negligent on all of the elected officials that represent that city, because we need to make sure that we represent accordingly and we are able to retain and recruit across the board, so that the city could flourish and be protected accordingly. That's my wish as we merge into 23. Can it be accomplished? Yes. But the thing that we're seeing national across the board, not just the city of Birmingham, it's just national across the board. We're seeing so much of Republicans that say they support police, but after you saw what happened with January 6th, that it's the total opposite. It's not that. They don't. They say it like it's the right thing to say, and it sounds good, but you don't. It sounds good to conservatives, but you don't do it. As it relates on the liberal end, they don't publicly or unanimously support the police, or even public safety for itself, and that includes fire department as well. Heck, even in public works. It's like, but the police thing is the really thing that people say, I don't side with, and I don't understand that, because I feel that there's so many things that go on, and we make the ultimate sacrifice so you folks could go home at night and sleep peacefully. We're the ones that were last week out here taking bullets, folks shooting at us, and then the only thing that you guys can think of is we have a funeral, bury him, and give his badge to somebody else. I take offense to that, because the ultimate sacrifice of me not being able to go home to my family, it's a hell of a lot. It's not a price that only I'm paying. It's the price that my wife is paying. It's the price that my kids are paying. It's the price that my mother and father are paying. And we cannot make our city more equitable and competitive as it relates to other municipalities. It's bull. That's bull. That's the biggest mess I've ever heard of. I would like to hear a robust plan that's going to be in motion. Now, I've invited certain people onto the show to discuss these things. Maybe I'm not big enough. Maybe my name is not big enough. Maybe my platform is not big enough for you to actually come. Maybe you'll be more entertained and you can reach more people by going to wherever else's show. It don't hurt my feelings. I just know that we don't think differently. I know that we don't operate. I know we think differently. I know we don't operate the same. I did an audio reel regarding that, and I had to stop thinking that other people were going to be thinking like me. People don't think like me. People don't think like me. I think like the one percenters. That's what I represent, the one percenters. And I don't have a host of friends. I have a host of associates. And that's the big difference. I really never cared to walk around this earth and say I have a lot of friends. Because the truth of the matter is, certain people don't like me. Certain people don't like me because they don't even know me. Certain people judge me without even knowing enough about me to even pass actual judgment. Where people that are actually close to me, they know how big my heart really is. And they know my real true intentions. And they know how much I love my family. So that's why when I tread into the politics world, I'm still trying to get adjusted to it. It still makes me feel uncomfortable. It still makes me feel uneasy. But on that same token, I know that I'm trying to fight to the fight that God has assigned me to, and I'm trying to actually see this mission all the way through. But it's hard. I'd be remiss if I did not admit that it's hard. Because it's so many times I just want to throw the towel in. But I'm fighting for people that same way would want people to fight for me. But at times that comes with being a martyr. And that comes with being a sacrificial lamb, meaning like that I'm going to lose some things in the process. I'm going to lose some friends. I'm going to lose some opportunities. But that's okay. For everything that I thought I lost, God gained for me. And he presented those opportunities to me and for me. If it were not for those things that were quote unquote taken from me, or those things that I feel like I did not receive, I would not have become the person that I've become. And I'm proud of the person that I am. I thank God for allowing me to go through certain circumstances and situations. I'm fine with that. I remember several times where I've asked people, and the hardest thing for me, I don't know if people can really understand really this portion, when you're so used to being independent, you're so used to getting it by yourself, and you're so used to getting in and out the mud independently. One of the hardest things there is to do is to ask somebody to help you. Is to ask for assistance. Because you know that come with a set of consequences. The first consequence that you know that is immediate and present is failure. That when you ask somebody to help you, even though that you were very uncomfortable with doing such, you know that the chances of them helping you are slim to none, even though that you would give your all to help people that you really could help, and make sure that you open up doors, help these doors become open for people did not, opportunities that weren't granted for you or to you. And swallowing that pride and knowing that the chances of being let down are very high. It's hard for me to put myself out there. And when I'm getting pushback, when I'm trying to ask, when people say, well, the only thing I did was ask, and you did. I don't confuse asking with begging. I'm not going to beg. And even when I ask, I'm really going to ask about one, at best, twice. And that portion of it can really get to you. But it's that portion of life that you go through that builds you. Never ask for handouts. I don't need you to hand me anything. I get it by myself. And I'll have more pride in it once I've actually obtained it and the goal. And I'm not directing this at anybody individually. And if you're feeling some type of way with me saying this, I apologize in advance. This is not meant for anybody individually. This is a blanket statement because I've done this with several people. And besides that, those that I have reached out to on even minor things in order for me to get some things done. Thank you for stepping in. Thank you for helping. Because I can't do all this by myself. It's hard doing it, but I can't do it by myself. I can't give the people what they need by myself. And I want to bring people along the journey. I want to bring those in so we can do this together as a team collectively. But at times there are certain doors that I need open in order for this train to keep moving in order for us to progress. So when these doors are blocked, I'm not taking it to offense individually. I really become upset as to those people that are not getting the opportunity, that are behind me, that are with me. And it's really for them. It's for the team. It's for the fam. It's for my troops. So it's not about you denying me. It's about you denying the people that's behind me, the people that's depending on me to run this torch all the way through. And that's the portion that hurts. It does. I'm going to leave that right there. Because if I go too far in it, I will become emotional about it. But I believe that once we get certain positions and we get certain opportunities, it's only right to come back and give back. And Lord knows I try my best. God, I try my best. I give my all. And if you really want to judge the value of a man, look how he take care of his family. Look how he take care of his wife, and look how he take care of his children. If he's not treating his spouse correctly and raising his children and loving his children correctly, what kind of leader you think that they're going to be? If they disrespect their own mother and father, what kind of leader are they going to be? If they disrespect their own husbands and wives, what kind of leader are they going to be? If they neglect their own children, what kind of leader are they going to be? Some of y'all get so caught up in the lust and the appeal of the image of a person. Talk to their family. See how their family feels about them. You know the reason why we felt certain type of way when we watched Barack and Michelle Obama? Because we saw the love that coexisted between both of them. We knew it was genuine. We know genuine love when we see it. That's why it bothered us when we saw Trump and Melania walking through and we were like, y'all call that love? That woman was uncomfortable every time that she was with that man. But there's not one moment where you saw Michelle with Barack where she felt uncomfortable. I honestly believe she loves that man with every fiber in her being and vice versa. And that's that beautiful black love. See, that's the love that society has made us as African Americans feel that it is non-existent, as it does not exist in our world, to where you can have a traditional family, traditional black family, where the father is there and the mother is there, and both of them are successful and they have beautiful children. Don't let this new society readjust your view of what the real African American family household could and should be. But if you're going to judge the individual, judge how they love in their own family. Because if they don't have a heart for their own family, they're not going to have a heart for you as their employee. They're not. They're not going to care about you. None of that. They're not. At the end of the day, they're going to care about that dollar and not about you. All right? They're going to have self-centered interests in mind and not yours. Growth is not measured by me as the individual. Growth is measured by those that are able to achieve that are on my team. Everybody that's on my team not only will eat, but they will eat good. And as we mature and progress together as a team, as a unit, they're going to eat better than me. They're going to bring even bigger feasts to the table. And when they actually do that, I've done my job. That's a leader. Being a leader is not defined by my individual achievements. Being a leader is defined by those that were a part of my team. Those that were on my team that grew bigger than me and better than me. That's what a leader is determined by. His pack. And leaders don't even have to do all this big talking. They just have to be there. Just have to be there. Your mere presence alone creates a wave, a shock wave of confidence and strength and perseverance. Your presence. Shout out to my real leaders that are able to do that. Now, let me pause. That is not a jab in any of the leadership that I just spoke about. Please don't get that confused. If I got a problem with you, I'll take it to you straight face to face. So these are just blanket statements. So I don't want people to get this confused. And if you're going to judge my statements, if you're going to judge this segment of the Dunn show, make sure you actually review the whole show instead of just doing a soundbite. I love a lot of people that empower right now. I love a lot of these people. God, I love Randall Wolf. We don't agree on every damn thing. Lord knows that. I love the dude. I love a lot of the councils there at the city of Birmingham, especially ones that I know. Other ones I just know of, but some other ones that I really love because I know them as good, genuine people. But just because I love them does not mean that I agree with them all the time. It's different. But I trust and I pray that they will make better decisions collectively that can improve the environment of not only just those that are immediately around them, but everybody that's associated with them. So that city can maintain and become even better. I had a conversation with the gentleman earlier this morning, and he said, what do you think the direction that this city is going in? And he meant the city of Birmingham. I said, I don't know. It's kind of a toss-up right now. There's a lot of things going on. There's a lot of things that are beyond a lot of people's controls. But while I do love the growth, while I do love the success that the city is having, I do wonder, where do I fit in? Let me pause that statement. Not me as an individual. People that look like me. I wonder, where do we fit in into the general scheme of things? I wonder that as advancements and changes occur, will we be excluded or will we become more included? That's a fear of mine. When I say we again, African Americans, shout out to all my Caucasians that are down with me, that are down with the team. But you can never understand my struggles as being an African American man. You don't understand the issues and the things that we experience, whether we are walking in the street, sidewalk legally, jogging while black, banking while black, interviewing while black, campaigning while black, policing while black. You can never understand. And I don't expect you to. But I do expect you all to listen to the stories that we tell. And this is not to create divisiveness, but we are not afforded the same opportunities as Caucasians, period, hands down. There's no such thing as equality. Somebody need to slap the taste out your mouth for even thinking that. There's no such thing as equality. Equality doesn't exist. There's no such thing. It's some utopian word created in some utopian society No, it does not exist. It does not exist. What does exist is hypocrisy. That exists. It exists every day of the week, every hour within that day. Hypocrisy. That's what exists. Us as people, we have to become more cognizant and more aware of the situations that are going on around us and being more concerned with those that weren't afforded the same opportunities as we were. We have to do better as African American people and as a culture to take care of our communities, take care of our family, take care of our brothers, take care of our sisters. We have to do better. But until we do those things, then we will block our own blessings, and we cannot blame the mayor, you can't blame the city council, you can't blame the president. You can't blame anybody but yourself. We've come a long way. This is true. But there's much more work that needs to be done that depends on you. All right. I want y'all to be blessed. I want y'all to enjoy the closing out of the holiday season. I want you to be reminded of the blessings that you receive. I want you to go into the new year and be fruitful, productive, profitable, and be optimistic. Take God with you every step of the way. Carry your family along with you. If you keep God first, take your family with you along the way. Everything you touch will become gold. Got my word on that. Until next time, I thank y'all for tuning into the Dunn Show. My better half, Crystal Dunn, will share with me next time that we link up again. Until then, I love y'all. Be blessed. Thank you for tuning in to the Dunn Show. I'm out. Peace.